It's almost September, and that means that it's almost Shorty September, and that means that it's time for me to look at my pile of possibilities for Shorty September, which means that I'm going to go through all of my books, all of my TBR, and see what books fit into Shorty September and show them to you here. Shorty September is an annual reading vlog that takes place during the entirety of September, and the goal is to read short books. So if you read one short book, you have participated, or if you want to go ahead and read many short books, you can do that as well. This readathon was created by Past Storytime, Sean and Bert, and Heather at Too Many Heathers. So I will leave their channels listed down below. The hosts of Shorty September basically say that anything you think of as a short book can count as a short book. They count books 200 pages and below. Since I love Novella November, since I love novellas, I count novellas to be books 175 pages and below. So for Shorty September, I always count books that are 176 pages to 250 pages. So those are the books that we're going to be looking at today. Maybe a couple of the novellas that I'm going to talk about in November have like 176, 177 pages, and maybe some of the short books that I'm going to talk about today have 251 pages, 252 pages. But for the most part, these books all have between 176 pages and 250 pages. For Novella November, I only include novellas, but for Shorty September, I include any books that I have that are short. So you can include books under 176 pages that are poetry collections or graphic novels or plays or nonfiction. So those would all fit into Shorty September, because Shorty September specifically is about reading just short books of any variety. And since Bert is a poet, a lot of poetry gets read during this month. So that is super fun. The books that I'm going to talk about today, though, are only going to be fiction, nonfiction, graphic novels, but I'm not going to talk about my plays, and I'm not going to talk about my poetry in this video. It would just make it way too long. I'm also not going to include series that I'm reading in order. I'm also not going to include my cat cozy mysteries in this. This is like a true pile of possibilities for me, and although I might read a cat cozy mystery or I might read a continuation of a series and it might fit into Shorty September, it's not necessarily in my pile of possibilities. The other thing that I'm going to do with this video is, because my TBR is scattered all over the place now, I'm going to do it in sections, which is why I'm sat on the floor in my library. The first section I'm going to do is short works by people of color. The next section I'm going to do is short queer works. The next section I'm going to do is short mysteries. And the last section I'm going to do in this segment is short translated work. So we have, oh, and I'm also going to do graphic novels. So we have a lot to get through. I might mix some up if I find other books, other places. You just never know. I'm also not going to talk about what the books are about. I'm just going to tell you the title, the author, and the page count. So if you desperately need to know what some of these books are about, ask me in the comments and I can let you know. The first book is Sheets. This is by Brenna Summer. And Sheets is a graphic novel that is 238 pages. Another graphic novel is The Girl from the Sea by Molly Knox Ostertag. Not including extras in this book, it is 147 pages. The Color Purple by Alice Walker is 251 pages. So this is one of those ones that falls under that a little overline. Indian Horse by Richard Wagamies, 220 pages. Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, 209 pages. Also coming in at 209 pages, we have Tender as the Flesh by Agustina Bastarrica. Coming in almost at novella length at 177 is No Longer Human by Osamu Dazai. This is a Japanese modern classic. The Sorrow of War, a novel of North Vietnam, is translated from the Vietnamese by Phan Thanh Ho, and it was written by Bao Ni. It is 233 pages long. Quicksilver by Junichiro Tanizaki. It is 224 pages long. Pubis Angelical by Manuel Puig is 236 pages long. At 246, this is End After Many Days by Jawar L.A. The Floating World by Cynthia Kodohata is a young adult work written in the 90s. It is 196 pages long. Walking on the Ceiling by Asegul Sevas. I don't think it's translated. No, it was originally written in English, even though she is a Turkish and Danish writer. This book is 207 pages. The Liberators by E.G. Ko. 220 pages. Next we have YN by Esther Yee, which is 206 pages. What Strange Paradise by Omar El Akkad comes in at 235 pages. Dictee by Teresa Hak Kyen Cha is 179 pages. Wandering Souls by Cecile Pim, which was shortlisted, I think, for the Women's Prize a few years ago, is 223 pages. The Incendiaries by R.O. Kwan is 210 pages. Souciant by David Churadati. I've had this one for a while. It's made it into quite a few other Shorty September videos, I'm quite sure, is 195 pages. Alice Walker by The Light of My Father's Smile is 222 pages. Love by Toni Morrison. This is one that I always want to read and I always pull out for various readathons and other things, and I should just read. It's only 202 pages. Another Alice Walker, Now is the Time to Open Your Heart. It's even shorter than the last, I think, at 213 pages. The House Made of Dawn by N. Scott Momaday, who is a Native American or Native Canadian author who recently passed away, is only 193 pages. This is one that I really would like to read. It's told in diary entries, or at least date entries, like each little paragraph or chapter or part of writing is a different day. I'm going to put this one on the side as like a possible, like a separate possibility pile. I have Psyche by H.G. DeLisser. This one looked really interesting. I picked this one up at a library sale recently and it is only 224 pages. I have another Alice Walker, Meridian. This is her first novel. I found this one at a little free library. It is 220 pages. A book from one of my yearly lists is The Mermaid of Black Conch by Monique Raffi, and this is only 225 pages. Stories from the Tenants Downstairs by Siddiq Fofana. I've heard good things about. This is a proof copy I found in a little free library. It is 207 pages. Zenziel is written in letter form. It's a letter for my daughter by J. Nozipo Marer. This is a African work. It's not translated, I don't think. I think it was originally written in English. It is 194 pages. NP by Banana Yoshimoto. I've read quite a few Banana Yoshimoto books so far, and I really enjoy her work. This one was, I believe, written in the 90s. It is 191 pages. Let's see when it was written. It was translated by Anne Sharif, and it was written in 1990. The Mystic Masseur by V.S. Nepal is one that I've been meaning to get to. I'm going to put this on my more immediate pile of possibilities. It's 207 pages. Miss Iceland by Audir Ava Olafsdottir is one that I actually was going to get rid of. I did try a chapter of it and I was going to unhaul it, but I decided to keep it. It is 230 pages and it's a translated work. I don't know. I never gave it away. I have it. I still have it. I might as well keep it. Dancer from the Dance by Andrew Hollerman. Exactly 250 pages. Nonfiction, Evelyn Waugh, A Tourist in Africa. Seems like a really interesting read that I got earlier this year. Only 160 pages, but because it's nonfiction, it can't go on my Novella TBR. The same can be said of The Argonauts by Maggie Nelson. It is only 143 pages. Go Tell on the Mountain by James Baldwin is 191 pages. A Single Man by Christopher Isherwood is 186 pages. I'm going to put that on the priority TBR. The Beautiful Bureaucrat by Helen Phillips is 177 pages. Fun Home is another graphic novel. This is by Alison Bechdel, and this is, I think, all about her life with her father, how her father was queer and how she was queer as well. It is 232 pages. Tin Man by Sarah Winman is one that I've been saying I would get to for years and years and years. It's only 213 pages, so I really should get to it at some point soon. Death's a Beach by Beth Sherman, 242 pages. The Daughter of Time by Josephine Tay. It has a timeline or a family tree in the back. That is cool. And it is 185 pages. Fall Scent by Niall Marsh. It's only 212 pages. The Case of the Hook-Billed Kites by J.S. Borthwick. I read the first one of these like a really long time ago. I'm not sure where this falls in the series, but it's only 245 pages. The Red House by A.A. Milne is a mystery written by the author of Winnie the Pooh. It is only 239 pages. Cape May, New Jersey Noir is a novel by William Bear, is 237 pages. The Chocolate Cobweb by Charlotte Armstrong is one of these American mystery classics. I've found quite a few books that I like through these. This one is 242 pages. Total Chaos is a translated mystery. It was translated from the French by Howard Curtis. This book was written by Jean-Claude Isso, and it is 252 pages. So a couple of pages above, but one that I would be interested in reading. A book that Meg with Books talks about all the time is A Quiet Life in the Country, the first of the Lady Hardcastle mysteries by T.E. Kinsey. It is exactly 250 pages. This is a great cover, vintage cover by Carter Dixon. The Peacock Feather Murders, a Sir Henry Merivale locked room classic. Sounds awesome. It is 192 pages. I doubt that I would get to The Weston Game by Ellen Raskin. I think it's like a puzzle book, and I think it takes more brain power than I am willing to give it for Shorty September. It is 182 pages. Sherlock Holmes and the Plague of Dracula by Stephen Seitz is a book that I brought up from the basement and decided to keep, so it might be a good one to read for Shorty September. It's 199 pages. Another of the American mystery classics, A Puzzle for Fools, is by Patrick Quinton, and it is 237 pages. This book has two Dashiell Hammett stories in it, The Maltese Falcon and The Thin Man. I don't feel like figuring out how long they each are, but I know they're both under 250 pages. We have a Mary Roberts Rinehart. This is a novel of romance and suspense, The Bat. I hear that this one is not very good, but I'm definitely willing to give it a try. I will probably read every Mary Robert Rinehart, and this is 224 pages. Another Golden Age mystery is by Molly Thine, The Draycott Murder Mystery, and it was written in 1928. This is like a reprint, and this reprint is 205 pages. Bert read one of these books recently, one of the books in this series. I don't know what the series is called, but the first book is The Shape of Water, and these are by Andrea Camilleri, and these are translated mysteries. This was translated from the Italian by Stephen Sartorelli. It is only 218 pages. Crossed Skis by Carol Carnick. This one is 233 pages. Another weird mystery that I picked up recently. This one is not translated, but it is Afternoons in Paris by Janice Law. This is a Francis Bacon mystery. What does that even mean? I can't wait to find out. It is only 219 pages. Another Golden Age mystery is The Case of the Gilded Fly by Edmund Crispin, 241 pages long. Another Josephine Tay is Miss Pym Disposes. This is a really beat up vintage copy that I got. It is 249 pages. I've read one other John Dickens car and I really enjoyed it. This is The Case of Constant Suicides. Look at that great vintage cover. It's 189 pages. Another Edmund Crispin is The Moving Toy Shop. This one also is a really cute edition, although not quite as vintage. This book comes in at 205 pages. Another book where I have two in one book. This is The Stoneware Monkey and The Penrose Mystery by R. Austin Freeman. These are two Dr. Thorndike detective novels. I'm not going to figure out how long they each are, but they are both under 250 pages. Dread Journey by Dorothy B. Hughes. I haven't read any Dorothy B. Hughes. Another American mystery classic. This one's short. It's only 181 pages. Enter a Murderer by Niall Marsh. It's only 201 pages. I got a Rumpole of the Bailey a little while ago, and I saw Aaron read a book read this one not too long ago and he really enjoyed it, so I'm definitely interested in reading this one. It is 208 pages. It's definitely a different kind of mystery for me. Like, I don't usually read court style mysteries or barrister style mysteries, but could be really fun. Moving on to some translated works, we have Wetlands by Charlotte Roach. It is 229 pages. Piranesi's Dream I did pick up because it said Piranesi and I had recently read Piranesi. This is 237 pages long. It was written by Richard Koff, translated from the German by Leslie Wilson. Wetlands was translated from the German by Tim Moore. I've read one other Wisława Szymborska. This is non-required reading prose pieces. It is 233 pages long, and it was translated from the Polish by Claire Kavanaugh. Montauk by Max Frisch was translated by Jeffrey Skelton. It's only 229 pages. If You Kept a Record of Sin by Andrea Bajani. This was translated from the Italian by Elizabeth Harris. I wanted to read this for Women in Translation, but it is not a woman author. It's a male author. So Andrea, a little bit confusing, but you know, all good. 195 pages. This is One Day in the Life of Ivan Denovich by Alexander Solzhenitsyn, and I've heard only good things about it. It was translated by Max Hayrd and Ronald Higley, and it is only 203 pages. Embers by Sandor Marai was translated by Carol Brown Janeway and is 213 pages. A translated nonfiction is Paul Klee, Pedagogical Sketchbook, which is translated by Sybil Mahoney Nagy. This is only 61 pages. I definitely will put this on my priority list. Beneath the Wheel by Hermann Hesse. This was translated from the German by Michael Koloff and is 187 pages. Rochalde, I don't know how you pronounce this, by Hermann Hesse. It was translated by Ralph Mannheim and is 199 pages. Okay, that's the first part done. This is a video that takes a lot of moving and changing and being messy and then cleaning up after it, so it takes me a little while. The next categories that we're moving on to is like literary fiction, contemporary fiction, sci-fi, horror, speculative fiction, things like that. Obviously, like I said before, some of these categories are going to get mixed up, especially because where I have each section of my TBR in my house. We have From the Earth to the Moon by Jules Verne, which is 213 pages. I recently got The Doll Castle by Martha Monagle, which comes in at 187 pages. John Wyndham is one of my favorite sci-fi authors. I have Out of the Deeps, which is 182 pages. And I have The Secret People, which is 206 pages. I've been wanting to try Jan Willem van Wettering. This is The Mind Murders. This is somewhere in his series, and it is 201 pages. Red Dwarf, this is also the second in the series by Grant Naylor, and this one is based on the TV show written by the people who wrote the TV show. It comes in at 229 pages. I've read Jaws by Peter Benchley, but I've always wanted to read something else. This is The Girl of the Sea of Cortez, which is 229 pages. Castle by J. Robert Lennon, 229 pages. King Kong, which is an adaptation of the movie conceived by Edgar Wallace and Marlon D. Cooper, and this novelization is by Delos W. Lovelace. It is 185 pages, but I probably won't be reading this for Shorty September because I will probably keep this for Giant April next year. Pretty Dead by Francesca Leah Block, 195 pages. In the House in the Dark of the Woods by Laird Hunt, I think is on my summer TBR, so this would be a good one to get to. I think I'm going to put this in the priority list. It is 214 pages. Solaris by Stanislaw Lem, 204 pages long. Bright Lights Big City by Jay McInerney, 182 pages. Rosemary's Baby by Ira Levin comes in at 218, and I definitely want to put this on my priority reading list. This might be a really good one for the Shorty September prompt that's watch a movie that's based on a book. Probably King Kong would have worked for that one as well. Elsewhere by Alexis Scheichen, I think is on my 24 and 24 list. This novel is 223 pages. The Last Picture Show by Larry McMurtry is 220 pages long. Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf is 194 pages. Time Cat by Lloyd Alexander. It is 206 pages. Come Along With Me by Shirley Jackson. I've read 2 Shirley Jacksons and a bunch of her short stories. I love her writing. This novel is 243 pages. Shadow Dance by Angela Carter is 182 pages. Jay Anson, most well known for the Amityville Horror, also has this novel, 666, which sounds intriguing. It is 189 pages. Ecotopia is a book that is on my priority read list from doing my 2022 book haul revisits, so maybe this one would be a good one to get to. It's only 181 pages. I Am Madam X is a fictionalized story of one of my favorite paintings. This book is by Gioia Di Liberto and is 245 pages long. No One Left to Come Looking for You by Sam Lipstight is 210 pages. The Blind Contessa's New Machine by Carrie Wallace is 207 pages. The Convalescent by Jessica Anthony is 243 pages. Weather by Jenny Awful is a book that is, I think, also on a priority list of mine. I can't remember which one. It's 206 pages. The Crosswicks Journal Book 1, which is A Circle of Quiet by Madeline L'Engle, is 245 pages. Lanny by Max Porter, 210 pages. I've never read any Joan Didion, but I have 2 of hers in here. I don't know if these are fiction or nonfiction. I don't know if she writes fiction. She might only write nonfiction. The White Album is 221 pages. And Slouching Towards Bethlehem is 238 pages. Greetings from Asbury Park, I got for obvious reasons. It is by Daniel L. Turtle. It's 240 pages. Harlan's Half Acre might be a good one for Shorty September and Shorty September. It's by David Maloff and it's 230 pages. 2 novels by Christopher Golden, Hellboy novels, which I think is kind of where he got his start. So these also have illustrations by Mike Mignola. We have The Lost Army, which is 203 pages, and Odd Jobs, which is 213 pages. The Vanishing Act of Esme Lennox is one of 2 books that I have by Maggie O'Farrell. I also have Hamnet, but that one is not a shorty. This one is almost not a shorty because it comes in at 245 pages. Goodnight Midnight by Jean Reese. I've read one other Jean Reese. It was The Wide Sargasso Sea, but I really like that one. This one is 190 pages. Memento Mori by Muriel Spark is 224 pages. I recently got Mrs. Bridge by Evan S. Connell, and it's only 185 pages. Here's another Jean Reese. This is Voyage in the Dark, which is 179 pages. In the Night Cafe by Joyce Johnson. This book is only 231 pages. Satin Island by Tom McCarthy I got because it was a Booker listed book. It is 282 pages. John Banville, The Sea, is one that I've wanted to read for a long time, ever since hearing about it on Grace's BookTube channel. It's 195 pages. 2 Graham Greens, both coming in under 250 pages. I have England Made Me and Our Man in Havana. Another Jenny Awful, The Department of Speculation, is 177 pages. Elizabeth Van Arnhem, The Solitary Summer, is one that I picked up because I'm interested in reading This Enchanted April, but I've heard that this one is good too. It's 190 pages. Dandelion Wine is part of a loose series. It's the same series that has Something Wicked This Way Comes in it, and I've enjoyed most of the books that I've read from Ray Bradbury. This one is 239 pages, and I don't think you need to read this series in order because they're not direct sequels, but they're part of the same Greentown universe. Moon Tiger by Penelope Lively is another Booker Prize book. I think this one won the Booker the year that it was listed, and it's 205 pages. The Scarlet Pimpernel, I think, would have been a really good one to read for Garb August. 193 pages in this edition. Another Graham Greene, The Power and the Glory, comes in at 222. Amsterdam by Ian McEwan, 193 pages. The Tenets of Moonbloom Hall is by Edward Lewis Wallant, 245 pages. Double Blind by Edward St. Aubyn, which is 239 pages, was a cover by. Rogue Mail by Jeffrey Household, it's 182 pages. The Goosehawk by T.H. White is 215 pages. Election by Tom Perrotta would be another one that would be fun to read the book and then watch the movie for that Shorty September prompt. And it's only 200 pages. Two Frederick Pohl books here. Both of these are recent acquisitions from my dad. The Merchant's War is 209 pages. And Starburst is 219 pages. I See by My Outfit, it's 237 pages. Alien Hearts by Guy de Mespont is a translated work, and it was translated by Richard Howard. It's 177 pages. I am a big fan of Paul Auster. This is a book that I got recently that I haven't read from him yet. It is Oracle Night. It's 243 pages. Desperate Characters, a novel by Paula Fox, 190 pages. The Pleasing Hour by Lily King is 237 pages. Jersey Luck, another obvious pickup for me. I don't know if this is literary fiction, mystery, or what. It is only 193 pages. It is by Tom DeHaven. The Third Hotel by Laura Vandenberg is 209 pages. I know this author recently came out with something new as well. Would you put A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess in speculative fiction or literary fiction? It's kind of both, right? But it is dystopian, so I guess it belongs in speculative fiction. It's 192 pages. One of my few books written by a celebrity is The Hottest State, a novel by Ethan Hawke. It's 196 pages. Dusk or Dark or Dawn or Day is by Shauna Maguire. It's 182 pages. Starship Titanic, technically not part of a series, not even by Douglas Adams, but was created by Douglas Adams and written by Cherry Jones. It's 245 pages. Corpus is by Clay McLeod Chaplin. This is 230 pages. Nova by Samuel R. Delany. I also haven't read any works by Samuel R. Delany, but he was a Black author writing in the 60s and 70s. This book comes in at 215 pages. I would read these two together if I were to read them. In this edition, Jekyll and Hyde is under the required amount of pages, so I won't be reading Mary Riley, but Mary Riley by Valerie Martin comes in at 183 pages. Oh Caledonia, which is 188 pages. The Oxbow Incident I actually picked up for my husband because it's a Western and it's supposed to be really good, but I would like to read it as well. It's only 220 pages. I'm back. This video is taking so long, but I did want to go over a few other books, but I'm going to stop after these books. And I plan on doing like this whole shelf, which is my nonfiction shelf, but actually I just took some footage of it and I'm just going to show you the books and you can kind of guess which ones are shorties and which one aren't. I'm going to just show you my poetry shelves and my play shelf so that you can see what shorties I have, but I'm not going to go through every shorty on my shelves. I do like to do these videos, but now that my TBR is like so out of control, it's a little bit hard to do them. They just take a long time and they end up being a long video. I think it'll be good for posterity because I haven't done everything on my TBR in a long time. But for now, we're just going to go through some nonfiction written by people of color and a few books that I missed along the way. So I have Democracy in Black by Eddie S. Glaude Jr. I've never read any Eddie S. Glaude Jr., but I do have another book of his that I started, which you will see in a minute. This book is 245 pages. Wave by Sonali Darren Yangala is 228 pages. Come Hell or High Water, Hurricane Katrina and the Color of Disaster by Michael Eric Dyson is 222 pages. A Human Being Died That Night by Pumla Godobo Mazzella is only 139 pages. Elode Aquino, The Life of Elode Aquino, or Gustava Vasa the African, is a slave narrative that is 168 pages. Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind is 139 pages. Oh My Mother by Connie Wang, 214 pages. Black and Buddhist, What Buddhism Can Teach Us About Race, Resilience, Transformation, and Freedom, 178 pages. Here's the other one by Eddie S. Cloud, Begin Again, James Baldwin America and its Urgent Lessons for Our Own. This one I have started and I should really get back to. I was really enjoying it. It is 217 pages. Hobbstown, A Forgotten Legacy of Unique African American Community by Cindy Williams Newson is also one that I've started. It's written in a little bit of a weird way, which is why I haven't gotten to it. It's 175 pages. So, and again, this is one that I should get back to. Black Ice by Lorraine Carey, 238 pages. The Tibetan Book of the Dead, a new translation with commentary by Francesca Framandi and Cho-Yam Trungpa, is 105 pages. Star Child, a biographical constellation of Octavia Estelle Butler by E.B. Zavoy, is like a mixed media book with poems and history of Octavia Butler. It is 115 pages. Punch Me Up to the Gods by Brian Brome is a memoir that is 235 pages. In the Dream House, a memoir, but it's like a memoir told in short stories, I guess, or like vignettes. I'm really interested to get to this one. It's 242 pages. James Baldwin, No One Knows My Name, More Notes of a Native Son, 190 pages. The Tao Te Ching, I guess a nonfiction. This is a new translation by Stephen Mitchell, but it's also like a working book. I wasn't sure whether to include it, but it's 111 pages. Harem Years, The Memoir of an Egyptian Feminist by Hadi Sharawi, is translated and introduced by Margaret Bedram and comes in at 152 pages. A Month and a Day, A Detention Diary by Ken Saro Wiwa is Nigeria's historic martyr. And this one is another memoir. It is 237 pages. The Souls of Black Folk by W.E.D. Du Bois is a collection of essays, but this collected edition is 225 pages. Black Families in White America by Andrew Bingsley is like an academic text, I think, and it was written quite a while ago. It is 215 pages, and it was written in 1968. And then some books that I forgot from other categories are Another Good Love and Blues by Arthur Flowers. This is actually a new one I got since starting this video, so I thought I would just include it because it is 211 pages. The Dew Breaker by Edwidge Danicat is a Caribbean novel that comes in at 242 pages. And Wolf in a White Van by John Darnell is a lit fic, probably slightly speculative work that comes in at 207 pages. So I'm going to stop there. I obviously didn't do all my genres. I obviously didn't do all my shorty books. That was a lot of shorty books. I doubt I will count them all up, but that was a lot. This is the vast majority of the books that I own are shorties because my favorite books to read are short books, and I love novellas. I will be doing another video on all my very, very short novellas. Remember, for this video, we only did books that were between 176 pages and 250 pages, but those are the vast majority of the books that I own. Going through all these books, I have so many shorties, so it's always fun to read more shorties. I hope you are having a great Shorty September. I hope you are reading tons of short books. I am reading a lot of short books for Shorty September, some of the ones that I mentioned here. So let me know what you're reading. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I've shown here and if I should prioritize any of them. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!